On a bustling Saturday afternoon in New York City, the air was alive with the sounds of laughter, chatter, and the distant honking of taxis. The sun beamed down on the iconic streets, casting a warm glow over everything it touched. Arthur Collins, a man in his 50s, strolled through Central Park, seeking solace from the weight of his riches and the emptiness that often accompanied them. He was a self-made millionaire, but as he walked among the throngs of people, he felt more like a ghost than a man full of life. As he passed by a small clearing in the park, a melodic voice pierced through the ambient noise, drawing him closer. Sitting on a wooden bench was a young girl, no older than 11, with curly hair that bounced as she strummed a well-worn guitar. Dressed in a faded sundress, she sang with a passion that seemed far beyond her years. Her voice, clear and pure, resonated with hope and longing, capturing the attention of passers-by who paused to listen. Intrigued, Arthur approached, drawn in by the magic of her performance. The girl's name was Laura, and as she sang, it was as if she poured her heart into each note. The lyrics spoke of dreams and struggles, painting vivid pictures of a world where love conquered all. It was a song that tugged at the heartstrings, evoking emotions that Arthur had buried beneath layers of wealth and success. As the final chord hung in the air, the small crowd erupted into applause. Arthur, feeling compelled to express his appreciation, joined in, clapping his hands and smiling at the girl. When Laura noticed him, her brown eyes sparkled with a mix of surprise and joy. "What's your name?" he asked, kneeling down to meet her gaze at eye level. "Laura," she replied shyly, her cheeks flushing with a hint of pink. "You sing beautifully, Laura," he complimented, genuinely impressed. "But why are you singing here in the park?" Laura hesitated for a moment, her expression shifting from pride to a tinge of sadness. "I'm trying to help my mom," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "She's very sick, and we need money for her medicine." Arthur felt a pang in his chest as her words sank in. He had spent years building an empire. Yet here was this girl, baring her soul to strangers for the sake of her mother. It was a reality check that cut through the fog of his own life. "Where is your mom now?" he asked, already formulating a plan in his mind. "She's at home resting," Laura answered, pointing down a nearby street where modest buildings lined the block. "We live just down that way." Arthur's heart ached at the thought of the young girl, carrying such a heavy burden. "Would you like me to visit your mom? Maybe I can help in some way," he offered, feeling a protective instinct rise within him. Laura studied him for a moment, her eyes searching his face for sincerity. After a few seconds, she nodded cautiously, her hope rekindled. With that, the two of them began to walk side by side, Arthur reflecting on the unexpected turn his day had taken. Each step felt like the beginning of a new journey, not just for Laura, but for him as well. As they strolled through the vibrant streets of New York, Arthur realized that this encounter was more than just a chance meeting. It was an opportunity to reconnect with a part of himself he thought he had lost forever. As Arthur and Laura walked through the bustling streets of New York City, he couldn't help but feel a growing curiosity about this remarkable girl. The city around them was alive with energy, but it was Lara's quiet strength that captured his attention. He glanced down at her as they turned onto a quieter side street, and he noticed how her expression shifted from hopeful to contemplative. "Laura, can you tell me more about your mom?" Arthur asked gently, wanting to understand the weight she carried on her small shoulders. "What's been going on?" Laura sighed, her fingers nervously playing with the strings of her guitar as they continued walking. "My mom, Sophia, has been sick for a while now. It started with some pain in her stomach, but the doctor said it's something more serious. They think she has cancer." Arthur's heart sank at her words. He could see the flicker of worry in Lara's eyes, a reflection of the fear that came with uncertainty. "I'm really sorry to hear that," he replied softly. "That must be really tough for both of you." "Yeah," Laura said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's been hard. Mom used to be so strong, you know? She worked 2 jobs to provide for us, and we had a pretty good life. But after Dad passed away, things got really tough." Arthur could sense the depth of her loss, a weight that seemed to hang heavily in the air around them. "What happened to your dad?" he inquired, hoping to tread lightly. Laura stopped for a moment, taking a deep breath before continuing. "He died in an accident when I was really little. I don't remember much, but Mom always said he was a great man. After he left, it was just the two of us trying to get by." The raw honesty in her words struck Arthur profoundly. He had spent years focused on business and success, yet here was a child who understood loss in a way he never had to confront. "And now, with your mom being sick, I can only imagine how hard it is," he said, his voice filled with empathy. "Yeah," Laura replied, her eyes downcast. "I try to help as much as I can. That's why I sing in the park. Every penny I make goes towards her medicine. It's not much, but I want her to feel better. She tells me that my singing gives her strength, and that makes me want to keep going." Arthur felt a surge of admiration for Laura. Despite the challenges she faced, her spirit remained unbroken. "You have an incredible talent, Laura," he said. "Have you ever thought about pursuing music more seriously? Maybe taking lessons or performing somewhere bigger?" Lara's face lit up for a moment before dimming again. "I would love to, but we can't afford it. Besides, I can't leave Mom alone, especially now. She needs me." "Family is important," Arthur acknowledged, feeling the familiar ache of loss in his own heart. "But there are ways to support your mom and follow your dreams at the same time. Have you considered looking for scholarships or programs that might help?" Laura paused, her brow furrowing as she considered the idea. "I never thought about that," she admitted, "but it feels impossible." "Nothing is impossible if you're willing to fight for it," Arthur encouraged, feeling a sense of determination building within him. "I can help you find resources. We can look into music schools together, or even community programs. You have a gift, Laura, and it deserves to be shared." They arrived at a small apartment building, and Laura hesitated before entering. "I hope you don't mind meeting my mom," she said, glancing up at Arthur. "She's been feeling really weak lately, and I don't want her to worry." Arthur smiled reassuringly. "I'd love to meet her. You're doing an amazing job looking after her, but it's also okay to let others help." As they stepped into the dimly lit hallway, Arthur could see how Lara's concern for her mother was palpable. He felt a surge of admiration for the girl, who, despite her tender age, had taken on the role of caretaker. "Mom!" Laura called out softly, leading the way to their small apartment. "I brought someone to meet you." The door creaked open, revealing Sophia, pale but smiling. The sight of her daughter brought light to her tired eyes. "Laura, sweetie, who's your friend?" "This is Mr. Arthur," Laura introduced, her voice steady but filled with warmth. "He's been really nice to me." Arthur stepped forward, extending his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Sophia. Laura has a wonderful gift, and I've been fortunate to hear her sing." Sophia's smile widened, and for a brief moment, the heaviness in the room seemed to lift. "Thank you for being kind to her," she said, her voice soft but filled with gratitude. As they exchanged pleasantries, Arthur felt an unexpected connection forming between them. Here he was, a successful businessman, stepping into the lives of two remarkable women who, despite their struggles, were fighting to keep hope alive. And in that moment, he realized that helping them could very well become the purpose he had been searching for. As Arthur settled into the modest living room of Laura and Sophia's apartment, he couldn't shake the sense of urgency that had begun to bubble inside him. The atmosphere was heavy with an unspoken weight, but amidst the stark reality of their situation, there was a flicker of hope ignited by Lara's passion and Sophia's resilience. The small space was filled with reminders of their struggles, faded photographs on the walls, a few worn-out chairs, and an old sofa that had seen better days. Yet, there was a warmth that emanated from the love between mother and daughter. After some light conversation, Arthur felt the need to address the elephant in the room. "Sophia, I can see how much Laura means to you," he said, looking into her weary but determined eyes. "And I want to help. I know you're facing a tough battle, and it's clear that Laura has a bright future ahead of her." Sophia smiled faintly, her eyes sparkling with gratitude and apprehension. Thank you, Arthur. Your kindness means more than you know. But I don't want Laura to feel like she has to give up her dreams because of me. Arthur leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. Laura is incredibly talented, and she shouldn't have to sacrifice her passion for your well-being. There has to be a way for us to work together to ensure both of you can thrive. Laura, who had been quietly listening, looked up at Arthur with wide eyes, her heart beating faster at the thought of pursuing music beyond the park. What do you mean? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper, filled with both excitement and skepticism. I have connections to several music programs and schools, Arthur explained. They offer scholarships for young talent, especially for students facing hardships. I'd be more than happy to help you explore these options. We could even find a way for you to continue taking care of your mother while you pursue your music. Lara's eyes sparkled with a mix of hope and disbelief. Do you really think they'd accept someone like me? Arthur smiled warmly, trying to reassure her. Of course, they're always looking for unique voices and stories. Your experience, your struggles, and your talent make you a perfect candidate. Let's make a plan together. Sophia, moved by Arthur's genuine interest, felt a wave of relief wash over her. It's hard for me to accept help, but I want Laura to have the opportunities one never had. She deserves a chance to chase her dreams. Then let's start today, Arthur proposed, feeling a newfound sense of purpose. We can research the programs, make some calls, and see what's available. And of course, I'm here to support you both financially with whatever you need. As the words left his mouth, Arthur felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The emptiness he had carried for so long began to fade as he envisioned a brighter future for Laura and Sophia. The thought of becoming a mentor, a supporter, filled him with a warmth he hadn't felt in years. Really? You would do that for us? Laura asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. Absolutely, Arthur replied, his tone firm. You have a gift, and I believe in you. Let's turn this dream into a reality. Laura couldn't contain her excitement. A smile broke across her face, lighting up the room. Thank you, Arthur. I won't let you down, I promise. Arthur chuckled, feeling a rush of joy. There's no pressure. Just focus on your passion and the rest will follow. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. As they began discussing possible programs, the bond between them deepened. Arthur felt like he was not only investing in Lara's future, but also rediscovering his own sense of purpose. He was reminded of the importance of community and connection, especially in a city that often felt so isolating. Just then, Lara's expression shifted and she hesitated. What if something happens to my mom while I'm away? I don't want to leave her. Arthur placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We'll make sure she has the best care possible. I'll help with that too. It's important for you to pursue your dreams, and I promise to look after Sophia while you focus on your music. Sophia nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude for the kindness of this stranger. You've already done so much for us, Arthur. I can't express how much this means to us. As the evening progressed, they began mapping out a plan. With each passing moment, Lara's hopes grew, and Arthur felt invigorated by the prospect of making a real difference in their lives. Together, they were not just addressing a financial need. They were forging a partnership that held the potential for a brighter future. Over the next few weeks, Arthur became a regular presence in Laura and Sophia's lives. Each visit to their modest apartment was filled with discussions about music schools, practice sessions, and the myriad of possibilities that lay ahead for Laura. Arthur was determined to help her shine, and he took it upon himself to be her mentor. Their meetings transformed into a delightful routine, blending laughter, music, and the occasional heartfelt conversation about life's challenges. Laura was a dedicated student. Every day after school, she practiced diligently on her guitar, her fingers dancing over the strings with newfound confidence. Arthur would often sit nearby, offering encouragement and gentle guidance. Remember, It's not just about hitting the right notes. It's about telling a story with your music, he would say, as Laura strummed and sang. With each session, he could see her grow not just as a musician, but as a young woman determined to pursue her dreams. One evening, as they wrapped up a practice session, Laura turned to Arthur with a glint of excitement in her eyes. "I heard about an open mic night at a cafe downtown. Can I perform there? I really want to try." Arthur's heart swelled with pride. "Absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. It will be a great way to showcase your talent and gain some confidence on stage. Do you think people will come to watch me?" Laura asked, a hint of apprehension creeping into her voice. "Of course. I'll be there, and I can bring some friends too. Just remember, no matter how many people show up, what matters is sharing your music," Arthur reassured her, seeing a flicker of doubt in her expression. Laura nodded, a smile breaking through her uncertainty. "Okay, I'll practice even more." As the open mic night approached, Arthur felt a surge of excitement and anticipation. He knew how important this moment was for Laura, and he wanted to ensure everything was perfect. He reached out to a few acquaintances, inviting them to the event to show their support. This wasn't just about performing. It was about building a community around Laura, a family that extended beyond the confines of their small apartment. The night of the performance arrived, and the cafe was buzzing with energy. Arthur watched as Laura prepared backstage, her nerves apparent, but her determination shining through. He approached her with a comforting smile. "Just remember, you're not alone. Look out into the crowd and find me. I'll be cheering you on." With a deep breath, Laura nodded, clutching her guitar tightly as she walked onto the small stage. The lights dimmed, and the chatter of the crowd faded into a hushed silence. Arthur's heart raced as he watched her take her place under the spotlight. As Laura began to play, the notes floated through the air, each strum resonating with raw emotion. The cafe patrons were captivated by her performance. Laura's voice, once timid, now carried a powerful depth that echoed the struggles she had faced. With each song, she told a story of love, loss, and resilience, drawing the audience into her world. Arthur could see the transformation happening before his eyes. Laura was no longer just a girl singing for her mother. She was an artist, a storyteller sharing her soul with those willing to listen. The crowd responded with applause, their cheers fueling her confidence. After her set, Laura returned to Arthur's side, her face flushed with a mix of exhilaration and disbelief. "I did it. They liked me." "Of course they did. You were incredible," Arthur exclaimed, pride swelling in his chest. "This is just the beginning for you, Laura. Imagine where your music can take you." As they celebrated, Laura's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Thank you for believing in me, Arthur. I don't know what I would do without you." "You believed in yourself too," he replied, feeling a profound connection with her. "You have a gift that deserves to be shared. I'm just here to help you along the way." That night marked a pivotal moment in their journey together. Laura had taken a significant step toward her dreams, and Arthur found purpose in supporting her. As they left the cafe, the city lights twinkled like stars above them, and for the first time in a long while, both Arthur and Laura felt a sense of belonging and hope. Yet, amidst the celebration, Arthur couldn't shake off the gnawing worry about Sophia's health. Each visit to the apartment revealed a little more of the toll that her illness was taking, and he knew that time was slipping away. However, he also understood that their connection was growing stronger, and he was determined to do everything he could to support both Laura and Sophia through whatever lay ahead. The days following the open mic night were a whirlwind of excitement and newfound confidence for Laura. She had performed brilliantly, and the positive feedback only fueled her desire to sing more. Arthur, proud of her accomplishments, continued to encourage her, but a shadow lingered in the background, the growing concern about Sophia's health. One evening, as they sat together in the living room, Arthur noticed Laura's usual sparkle had dimmed. She was strumming her guitar absent-mindedly, lost in thought. Sensing that something was troubling her, he gently prompted, "Laura, is everything okay?" You seem a bit distant today." Laura hesitated, her fingers pausing on the strings. "I don't know, Mr. Arthur. I guess I'm just worried about my mom. I keep trying to stay positive, but sometimes I feel like I'm holding my breath, waiting for something bad to happen." Arthur's heart sank as he listened to her words. "It's perfectly normal to feel that way. It's a lot for you to handle," he said softly. "But remember, you're not alone in this. I'm here for both of you. I know, but I wish I could do more. I want her to be better," Laura replied, her voice trembling slightly. "Sometimes I worry that she's just putting on a brave face for me." Arthur took a deep breath, knowing that this was a moment of vulnerability that he needed to address. "Laura, I think it's important for you to talk to your mom about how you're feeling. She might be trying to protect you, but it's okay to share your worries with her too." Laura looked up, her eyes wide with uncertainty. "What if it makes her feel worse? I don't want to burden her." "Burden? No, my dear. It's about sharing the truth. You both are in this together. And expressing your fears might actually help you both feel a bit lighter. It's healthy to talk about these things," Arthur reassured her. After a moment of contemplation, Laura nodded slowly, a flicker of resolve in her expression. "You're right. I need to be honest with her. But what if she doesn't want to talk about it? Then you can simply be there for her," Arthur suggested. "Just listen. Sometimes that's all we need, just to know someone cares." Later that evening, after Arthur left, Laura steeled herself to have the conversation she had been avoiding. She found her mother resting on the worn sofa, her face pale but serene. "Mom!" Laura called softly. Sophia opened her eyes and smiled faintly. "Hey, sweetheart, how was your day?" "It was good, but I need to talk to you about something," Laura said, her voice trembling slightly. She took a seat beside her mother, taking her cold hand in hers. "I'm really worried about you." Sophia's expression shifted, and she sat up a little straighter. "Oh, Laura, you don't need to worry about me. I'm okay." "No, you're not," Laura insisted gently. "I can see it. You're not getting better. And it feels like you're hiding something from me. I just want to know what's happening." Tears welled in Sophia's eyes, and she sighed deeply, knowing she couldn't keep the truth hidden any longer. "You're right, my love. I haven't wanted to worry you, but the doctors have told me my condition is serious. I have cancer, and it's progressed further than we hoped." Lara's heart sank, her breath hitching in her throat. But I thought you were getting treatment." "What does that mean?" "It means I need to be honest with you," Sophia replied, her voice shaking. "I don't know how much time I have left, but I want you to know that I'll always be with you, no matter what." Lara's mind raced as she absorbed the news. "No, I can't lose you, Mom. You have to fight. We can figure this out together." Sophia pulled her daughter close, wrapping her arms around her in a comforting embrace. "I've fought for so long, darling, but you need to understand, it's okay to feel scared. I want you to focus on your music, on your dreams. That's what I need from you. Promise me you'll keep singing, no matter what." Through her tears, Laura nodded. "I promise, Mom. I'll keep singing for you, but I'm not ready to say goodbye. I want to help you. We can find more doctors or specialists." "Laura," Sophia said softly, cupping her daughter's face in her hands, "I love you, and no matter what happens, I want you to live your life fully. That's what will give me peace." As Laura listened, she felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. She realized the battle ahead would not only be about her mother's health, but also about her own journey through grief and resilience. In that moment of raw honesty, they forged an unbreakable bond, one built on love, vulnerability, and the bittersweet reality of their situation. That night, as Laura lay in bed, her mind swirled with emotions. She thought of Arthur and how he had encouraged her to express her feelings. Her heart ached with the fear of losing her mother, but she also felt a newfound determination to honor Sophia's wishes. In the quiet darkness, Laura resolved to not only keep her promise, but to also lean on Arthur as they faced the uncertain road ahead. Their lives were intertwined now, and together they would navigate the storm. The day of the talent show arrived, and the cafe was abuzz with excitement. Lights twinkled above the stage, and the air was thick with anticipation. Laura stood backstage, nervously adjusting her guitar strap, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and fear. She could hear the faint murmur of the audience, their chatter rising and falling like the tide. Arthur had invited friends, colleagues, and even a few music enthusiasts he had met, all eager to support her. As she waited, she thought about her mom, who had insisted on coming despite her fragile state. Laura felt a surge of determination wash over her. This performance wasn't just for herself. It was for Sophia, who had sacrificed so much to support her dreams. She wanted to make her mother proud. "Laura," Arthur's voice broke through her thoughts, and she turned to see him approaching with a warm smile. "You're going to be amazing out there. Just remember what we talked about. Focus on your passion and let your music flow." "Thanks, Mr. Arthur," Laura replied, feeling the weight of his encouragement. "I just hope I don't mess up." "You won't. Just look for me in the crowd," he reassured her. "I'll be cheering you on. You've worked hard for this, and you deserve every moment on that stage." Taking a deep breath, Laura stepped closer to the stage entrance. The spotlight flickered, and the host's voice echoed throughout the cafe, announcing the next act. "And now, we have a special performance by a young talent who has captured our hearts with her beautiful voice. Please welcome Laura." As Laura walked onto the stage, the bright lights momentarily blinded her, but she quickly focused on the audience. She spotted Arthur near the front, his encouraging smile giving her the confidence she needed. The moment she strummed the first chord, everything else faded away. The nerves, the fears, and the pain of her mother's illness. With each note, she poured her heart into the music, singing a song that encapsulated her journey and the love she held for her mother. The lyrics flowed effortlessly, resonating with the crowd and creating an atmosphere of connection. As she reached the chorus, she noticed heads nodding, feet tapping, and even a few people swaying to the rhythm. It was as if the audience was embracing her story, sharing in her triumphs and struggles. Halfway through the performance, Lara's gaze shifted to the back of the room, where she spotted Sophia, looking frail yet radiant. Despite her weakened state, her mother's eyes sparkled with pride and encouragement. In that moment, Laura felt a powerful surge of motivation. She sang louder, infusing every word with raw emotion. When she finished, the cafe erupted in applause. The cheers and shouts of encouragement filled her with joy and disbelief. She had done it. She had shared her voice, her story, and her heart with everyone present. As she stepped off the stage, she was enveloped in a warm embrace by Arthur. "You were phenomenal," he exclaimed, his eyes shining with pride. "You captivated everyone." "Thank you. I can't believe I actually did it." Laura beamed, still riding the high of the performance. Just then, she spotted Sophia making her way through the crowd, supported by a close friend. Laura rushed over to her, heart pounding with excitement. "Mom, did you see? I was so nervous, but I did it. I saw every moment, my darling," Sophia said, tears of pride glistening in her eyes. "You were incredible. Your voice is a gift to the world." "I did it for you, Mom," Laura replied, her voice trembling. "I want you to be proud of me. I want to keep singing for you." Sophia pulled her daughter into a gentle hug, her heart swelling with love. "And you will, sweetheart. You have so much talent and a beautiful heart. Keep chasing your dreams, no matter what happens." Just then, Lara's friend approached with a big smile, clutching a flyer. "Laura, there's an opportunity for a music scholarship at a prestigious school. You should apply." Arthur, overhearing the conversation, added, "I'll help you with the application. This could be the next step for you, Laura. You deserve it." Lara's heart raced at the prospect. "Really? Do you think I could get in?" "Absolutely. With your talent and determination, I have no doubt they'll want you," Arthur assured her. As the excitement buzzed around them, Laura realized that this was just the beginning. The performance had opened doors, not just for her music career, but for a brighter future for her and her mother. With the support of Arthur, her friends, and the love of her mom, she felt ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Yet, beneath the excitement, the weight of uncertainty lingered. Sophia's condition was deteriorating, and Laura knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. But in that moment, surrounded by love and encouragement, she felt an unwavering resolve to embrace her music and fight for her dreams. The weeks following the talent show were a whirlwind of activity for Laura. She had received overwhelming support from the community, and interest in her music was blossoming. Arthur helped her secure an audition for the music scholarship, and she poured her heart into her preparations. Yet, beneath the excitement and the promise of a brighter future, a heavy weight lingered on her heart. Sophia's health was deteriorating rapidly. One afternoon, Laura returned home from school, her guitar slung over her shoulder, buzzing with enthusiasm after a successful rehearsal. But as she stepped through the door, the atmosphere was different. The faint scent of lavender lingered, a calming fragrance Sophia often used, but there was an underlying tension that made Lara's stomach knot. "Mom," she called out, her voice echoing through the small apartment. When she didn't receive a response, panic fluttered in her chest. She hurried to the living room, where she found Sophia sitting on the couch, looking pale and frail, her hands resting on her lap. "Hey, sweetheart," Sophia greeted softly, a weak smile gracing her lips. Laura rushed to her side, concern etched across her face. "You look tired, Mom. Are you feeling okay?" Sophia sighed, her eyes reflecting a mix of love and sorrow. "I'm just a little more tired than usual. I've had some pain today, but it's nothing to worry about." Laura felt her heart ache at the sight of her mother's struggle. "But you promised you'd tell me if things got worse." "We can see the doctor again," she insisted, her voice trembling. Sophia shook her head gently. "Laura, I don't want you to worry about me. You have your audition coming up, and I want you to focus on that. Your music is so important, but you're important too," Laura exclaimed, frustration bubbling to the surface. "I can't just ignore what's happening. I need to know how you're really feeling." Taking a deep breath, Sophia looked her daughter in the eyes, her voice steady but soft. "I'm proud of you, my love. You're doing so well, and I want you to keep chasing your dreams. Just promise me that you'll be strong, no matter what happens." Laura felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes, but she fought to hold them back. "Mom, I can't imagine my life without you. You've always been my strength." Sophia reached out and took Lara's hands in hers, their connection grounding them both. "And you've always been mine. Remember, love doesn't fade. It stays with us no matter what. You need to live fully, embrace your passion, and carry my love with you." The weight of Sophia's words sank into Lara's heart, igniting a mix of fear and determination. "I'll make you proud, Mom. I promise," she whispered, her voice steady. That evening, as the sun set, casting warm hues across the apartment, Laura and Sophia sat together in silence, sharing stories and laughter. Laura strummed her guitar softly, playing the melody she had written for her mother, each note a testament to their bond. They both savored the moment, cherishing the time they had left together. But as the days passed, Laura noticed the toll Sophia's illness was taking. She began to struggle more with daily tasks, her strength waning. One night, Laura returned home from a rehearsal and found her mother curled up on the couch, breathing heavily. "Mom!" Laura rushed to her side, panic surging. "What's wrong?" "I'm okay, really," Sophia replied weakly, but Laura could see the pain etched on her face. "No, you're not," Laura insisted, tears streaming down her cheeks. "We need to get you help." Sophia pulled Laura into an embrace, her voice gentle yet firm. "Laura, listen to me. I don't want you to remember me as someone who was always sick. I want you to remember the love and the music we shared. Promise me that you'll keep singing, no matter what." With a heavy heart, Laura nodded, feeling the weight of impending loss. "I promise, Mom, But I can't let you go. I want to fight this with you." Sophia smiled softly, brushing Lara's hair back. "You've already fought so hard, my dear. But sometimes love means letting go. Just know that I will always be with you, watching over you." As Lara clung to her mother, she knew the truth of Sophia's words. The reality of their situation was becoming increasingly clear, and she had to face the inevitable. Days turned into weeks, and Lara's audition loomed closer. With each passing moment, she felt the weight of her mother's struggle growing heavier. But she also felt a surge of determination to honor Sophia's legacy through her music. On the day of the audition, Lara stood backstage, her heart racing. As she prepared to take the stage, she closed her eyes and remembered her mother's encouragement. "Whatever happens, just know that I love you," Lara whispered to herself, channeling her emotions into the music that was about to echo through the auditorium. With a deep breath, Lara stepped into the spotlight, ready to sing not just for herself, but for the woman who had given her everything. As the first notes filled the air, Lara poured her heart into her performance, honoring the love that would always remain. Enjoyed the story? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next thrilling episode. See you in our next video. Take care